So I'm so excited to do a recap video talking about what the past 3 months have been like. I've been doing Fiat 90. I talked about that in my January video, but I haven't really been talking about it throughout the journey because part of it was giving up social media. So I haven't really been posting on social media. I've really only been making like themed Catholic videos, not talking that much about my life. So I thought this would be a fun time, and together I'm going to be eating cake. I have not had cake in 3 months, I think this entire year, because of the Fiat 90 thing. So there were some parts of the challenge that I was not perfect at, but the desserts part, I literally did not have a dessert since it started on January 5th. I never had sweetener in my coffee. I didn't have alcohol. I didn't snack. I kept like all the food rules really, really intensely. So I'll have cake right now. I'm so excited. I feel like it's been dopamine hits like all day and all yesterday because we also had to give up secular music. And I'm like a huge music person. I'm always listening to music. So for Lent, I also gave up Christian music. So I have like had silence, Father Mike Bible Instruments, a Bible in a Year podcast. And I've been listening to audiobooks. But Demi Lovato's album came out a couple of days before Easter. So I'm finally listening to it, and I watched her documentary on her YouTube. And it's legit one of my favorite albums I've ever heard in my entire life. It's so good. You guys all need to go listen to it. It's called Dancing with the Devil, The Art of Starting Over. And I've been listening to her music since I was like in high school. She's like 2 years older than me, so I feel like she's one of those celebrities where you kind of grow up together. And this album, though, it has to do with her drug overdose, addiction, her eating disorder, her family, death. It's just so depth. Like, I feel like albums nowadays are only about relationships and sex, and they're very shallow. And this one, like, it sounds amazing, but the lyrics are just such a beauty and depth about humanity. And it's just amazing listening to it. It's so moving. And so I think you guys need to just listen from like the first track to the last track and listen to it. And it also just, it's such a fun album too, as deep and dark as it is. It has like upbeat songs. And so I'm just so obsessed with it. I've been listening to this on repeat since Easter. Easter was so great. I remember Holy Week last year was like heartbreaking not being able to be at Mass. So I'm so glad that so many of us, it was open. We were able to attend Easter Vigil and Easter. It's absolutely amazing. I literally will never take for granted going to Mass ever again. So grateful for that. So I'm going to start reading some of the comments. I definitely am going back to streaming more often. Fatima, hi Lizzie, hi. Hi Dolph, hi Caitlin, hi Calvin, hi Patrick. Jay says, hi toddler one. What do you think of the James Charles situation? Which situation? He gets in so many controversies. It's like every other month I feel like he has a controversy. So I don't know what this one, is this one the one where he was like priming children or something? I think I saw something like that, but I could be wrong. He also did a video where he pretended to be pregnant, and so many Catholic influencers on Instagram like hated it. It was so ridiculous. So yeah, but he has so much chaos and so much drama and so many scandals going on. He's kind of like Tana Mojo, where there's just constantly stuff happening. Happy Easter, it's still Easter. TG Entertainment. Hey Lizzie, how's it going? I keep saying this every time I come on the stream, but I was the guy who came on your Instagram live chat last year, and I didn't realize I was showing my TV set instead of my face. Yeah, so I don't do Instagram live very much, but I was doing it a year ago, and there's this option where people can, you guys probably already know this, but I feel like I'm older, and I feel like some people might know this who are my age or older. So you can actually join in an Instagram live stream, like anyone on the chat, you can just invite them in and pull them into the video, like total strangers. So I was doing that once, and I was like meeting fans, and they were like asking questions and stuff, and it was like a live Q&A video thing. And so this one person, everyone else is like, hey Lizzie, like I've been watching you since 2000, whatever. Here's my question. He had it like pointed at his TV, and it was like a huge TV. It was a really sweet layout for the room, and it was just facing it the whole time. And I was just like, okay, like the person doesn't want their face to be on camera. That totally makes sense. But at the end, this person realized what was going on. They were like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I had no idea. And everyone was like commenting about the room and everything. It was pretty funny. Natalie, yay, you're streaming. I got some homework to do and now I won't be lonely. Aww. Fiat 90 finished. Yes, it finished at Easter. Keith, pretty nails. Thank you. I'm not wearing my engagement ring. Drama. Literally, YouTubers, if they're not wearing their engagement ring in every video, people think they broke up. Like this one YouTuber I watch, she does challenges where she like melts candles together and like makes concoctions of like weird stuff. And so she doesn't wear her ring in the videos where she's like baking and like doing crafts and stuff. And so people were always asking like, did you break up? Blah, 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 blah. And sometimes YouTubers do break off their engagement and then get back together. But like, if that happened with me, where if we like broke up our engagement for like a few months, I would not like stop wearing my ring in videos because it just causes so much drama and speculation into your life. So TJ Entertainment, I know I have pretty sweet room and thank God it was clean too. Yeah, that's a good point. Here we go. I was telling one of my best friends this, she had no idea, but you actually have to take off your engagement ring like all the time when you're cooking because grease and food can get on it, when you're cleaning, so doing dishes, cleaning the bathroom, cleaning counters, if you're working out, like doing an indoor workout or going on a run. If I don't wear it when I'm sleeping, there's just so many situations where you have to take off your ring, so I always have this one place where I put it though so that I don't lose it. Because I hear stories of, there's actually someone in my Fiat 90 group who lost her wedding ring and engagement ring on a move. And then she had a dream about the saint who's in charge of finding things. And then it was like a dream. I feel like this, maybe I shouldn't be sharing this, but the person is anonymous. But the saint who you pray to when you want to find something, she literally had a dream of where to look for her ring. And then woke up the next morning and that's where her rings were. After she prayed to him. I was like, that's so freaking cool. I love your pajama pants. Thank you. One of my best friends gave them to me and they're so nice. Okay. Hey Lizzie, are you eating carrot cake? No, it's not carrot cake. Is that vegan cake? Always. James messaged an underage fan explicit pics and he said he didn't know the fan's age. Yeah, that's the one that I read about too. How are you? Fiat 90 finished. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. I miss Taylor Swift so much and I was listening to her today. I haven't been crazy about the past 2 Taylor Swift albums, so I'm not really in like a Taylor Swift mood for the past few months. But Demi Lovato, her new album is so good and I've been listening back on some of her old music too. She's just so talented. So talented. She has an incredible voice. I'm so happy that she didn't die when she did her overdose. And she's bipolar. She has bipolar disorder, which is another reason I want to support her, all the beautiful brained bipolar musicians. There's just so much creativity and artistry when people have bipolar. What is the name of the saint? Let's see. Okay. Saint in charge of finding things. It's Anthony. Saint Anthony. That's the name. Saint Anthony is the Western finder saint. Interesting. So it's different depending on where you live. I had no idea. Does that mean that your cake is a consistency of a brick? Yeah, vegan cakes are like bricks. It's actually really easy to cook vegan. So obviously like flour and sugar is vegan, and we make eggs with just flaxseed, which is like a ground powder basically. And you just mix it with water and it becomes like the consistency and nutrition of an egg. And then you use almond milk, oat milk, cashew milk, soy milk, whatever. This would not be vegan in a cake. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's really easy to cook vegan. I thought when I went vegan, I was so passionate about it, and I thought I would never be able to eat baked goods or homemade bread ever again. I didn't think I would be able to eat those types of refined carbs and muffins and pancakes. I just didn't think it could be vegan without eggs and milk. So I was pleasantly surprised. Hey Lizzie, would you ever do a rosary giveaway for your subscribers? I have done so many rosary giveaways. I was actually just sent rosaries from a company that I might give away because I don't think they're that good quality. And I'm not being paid by the company to promote them, but if I was gonna be paid, I would say no and not take the money because they're just bad quality. I mean, obviously there aren't objectives when it comes to all types of aesthetics, but I have so many rosaries, and so I just don't think I think they have a different manufacturer, the company who I worked with, but I might give them away on like an Instagram post if someone wants a rosary because I have way too many. Although I don't think you could ever have too many rosaries, but it gets to a point where like if I'm constantly sent them and other people don't have cute rosaries, then they should probably get some. How long have you been vegan? When will you visit India? I've never been to India before. I think it would be so cool to visit. There's so much rich culture there. I think it'd be really cool. My veganism has been since August of 2015. So 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20. So in like 6 months, it'll be 6 years, which is so long, but it's been basically my last year of college and then ever since. So it just feels really normal. Someone was watching Dr. Taylor Marshall. He gave away some rosaries today. Aww. I am a Catholic priest. Godson answers. Inserting interesting username. Joe Biden stumbled down Air Force One again. Like he fell? People take things way too seriously about like how presidents are walking and stuff. Like Trump got blasted for walking slow one time, like down a ramp. And people are like, oh wow, like look at his horrible health. Like he has no strength. He's gonna die soon. And it's like they're literally walking for 10 seconds. How can you make like a diagnosis off of that? I think that's so ridiculous. Okay. Hi, Lizzie. One of my best friends and his wife entered the church at Easter Vigil. So excited. Got to sponsor him. Oh, that's so exciting. When are you going to visit the Holy Land of Israel? So I have a lot of like countries on my bucket list that I would like to visit. And obviously the Holy Land would be incredible, but it's not something that like I want to go to like next year or something. There's other places I'd rather visit. So when I'm in the East, I can't get help from St. Anthony. I don't blame him. I trip on flat surfaces, 23 and healthy. Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Lizzie. Hi, Irene. Hi, Dolph. Gwyneth says Trump is a giant. Don't know how someone has such broad shoulders. Ahmed says, Lizzie, I can't believe I wanted to join the Lutheran Church last year, but now I'm praying the Rosary and reading the Catechism starting RCIA this September. Oh, congratulations. Welcome home. That's so cool. Gwyneth says, Joe Biden. Oh, we already read that. He stumbled down again. Well, the thing about Biden is he's objectively like really, really, really old. I'm pretty sure most of America thinks he's gonna die this term in office. Let's see exactly how old he is. He was old when he was vice president, which was like 12 years ago. Okay, he's 78 years old. Wow. His birthday's in November, so he just turned 78. So then 79, 80, so he'd be 81 at the end of his term. And then he could run again. Could he? When is I think the age limit doesn't kick in unless like you're running at the beginning. So let's see. They keep saying 35, which I know. An article, the 3 remaining candidates of note are all over the age of 70. Okay. 70 years old. He looks like he's 40. Biden does not. He looks so old. And then he always has his super white teeth. Whoever does his teeth whitening, he should be sponsoring them. Biden has the average age of death in the US. Yeah. Ava Lizzie, I've arrived. Hi. If St. Anthony is the Western finder, then who is the Eastern finder? I'm sure they have someone. Toby says YouTube canceled Patrick Coffin, a pious man who isn't afraid to stand up for the unborn and vote the right way, even if he goes against the liberal tide. He's the real Catholic vlogger. They deleted his YouTube channel? That's no. How do you get your YouTube channel deleted? It's literally not there. You didn't know about Patrick Coffin being banned? No, because I have not been online that much over the past 3 months because of Fiat 90. I've been on social media a couple times, but I haven't been like watching a ton of YouTube or anything. What do you even do if that's your job? I would be freaking out if I was him, because that's like your income and you're supporting your family with your job, which requires YouTube. That's horrible. It's part of the continuous purge. Conservatives have been getting banned. Yeah, no wonder I don't want to talk about politics on YouTube. When did this happen? Oh, I'm on his old Twitter. April 3rd, he was banned. Oh, so this happened like on Easter. Oh, that's a horrible way to do Easter weekend, losing your job, basically. Oh, poor guy. Yeah, I've met him. We've collabed together. I'm so sad. I'm just like completely blown away. Like, I'm shocked. Because to get banned from YouTube, the only people, because like they demonetize people all the time, which I get, because there was a time where a lot of advertising companies were leaving YouTube and refusing to work with YouTube because of the content. So they started like a really intense demonetization purge on YouTube. So it was really hard to get monetized for a while. Like even my videos, some of them weren't getting monetized for a long time. And I figured out how to tag videos and title and thumbnail them in a way that gets monetized. And I have pretty family friendly content anyways. But I never heard of them deleting channels that they disagreed with. I'm so blown away. That's horrible. Matt N said, "Hi Lizzie, so funny you started this stream. I just saw you went live and literally had cake myself like 10 minutes ago." Jay says, "Just wait. They will delete many more that don't adhere to the world generalized accepted views. They started with politics. Christian points of view will follow." I don't even know what I would do if my YouTube got deleted. I would just like quit being online and find a different job. I would find like an 8 to 5 job or something. Cause like you have all your viewers and videos and all the people subscribed and notification squad and everything. Like I have way more people on YouTube than on my social media. And so, but then it's like, if your YouTube gets banned, your social media is going to be next. I just don't like that I don't know what video got him banned, you know, but it just seems ridiculous to get rid of someone's YouTube unless they're being like super racist or sexist or homophobic or something. But like, I don't even know what would happen. Do you watch Catholic Answers on YouTube? Sometimes, but I don't think I'm subscribed to them, but their videos show up when I search for things sometimes. If I'm like in a live stream and someone's asking a question and I'm like, I made an entire video on that, I'll like search for my video on like YouTube search and like Catholic Answers videos will come up. So we make similar types of videos. Watch Tim Gordon's latest video to see Patrick's story. Watch Tim before they ban him too. Yeah, I'm surprised that Patrick Coffin got banned before Tim Gordon, honestly. I think Tim Gordon is more extreme with some of his views. Obviously, I agree with most of the things that he says, but in general, I thought he was more extreme than Patrick Coffin. So he's going to be banned next, I guess. That's so sad, honestly. I know at least 4 conservatives banned from YouTube, like Nick Fuentes, Vincent James, Mil Yiannopoulos, and Alex Jones. Please don't quit YouTube. Hey Lizzie, there is a meat that is 100% meat, 100% no death cruelty. I saw it in NAS Daily. Yeah, so I'm actually really excited about this. I probably still wouldn't eat meat that much, but listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm eating meat, but they're creating lab-grown meat. So basically, like, they take stem cells from a chicken, and they don't even kill the chicken. The chicken's fine and continues to live. But they grow the chicken into the organs that are the meat. And so it tastes exactly like chicken. It is anatomically cellular chicken. It has the same nutrition, everything. Well, better nutrition because they're not being like exiled in a factory farm and like mistreated and tons of antibiotics and everything. So way healthier than factory farm meat, but it's literally meat made in a factory, but without any animals being hurt or harmed or killed at all. So I think that's the future. I think because with environmentalism, the factory farm system is the #1 contributor to global warming. And so with the population increasing and so many billions of people, it's just not sustainable to continue to eat the amount of meat we're eating via factory farms. So there has to be a solution. Either everyone needs to be vegan or we have to create meat in a different way. So right now it's really expensive because it's still in the beginning stages, but I think that's the future, and I'm really excited because, you know, most people won't go vegan. They just don't want to. So it's a great way to reduce animal death and exploitation by just growing meat in a lab. Oh, I have tea. I totally forgot. This is chai tea. It's so good. I love this so much. I don't want to spill it on my computer, so I had it like behind my computer, and I'm gonna have it way over here. Something I always did for like years is when I would film YouTube videos, it takes me like maybe anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour to film a video. So I would always get a glass of water and put it like on the ground by my feet so I could like take breaks and drink water as I'm talking. And in like 2016 to 2017, I would like kick the water like half of the time, and it would get all over the floor because I'm like talking, and I don't know why my legs move when I talk, but it was like a thing. So I was literally thinking for this, like, oh, I could just put the tea on the ground by my feet so it doesn't get on my computer. And then I'm like, no way, it will spill all over the floor. Okay, you guys are talking to each other in really complex conversations. He started to have a conference. Oh, this is Patrick Coffin on YouTube with Archbishop Vigano, and right after it started, they banned him. Wow. I wonder what Jesus looks like. Ahmed says, Lizzie, I'm in serious mortal sin, but I can't go to confession because I'm not Catholic. What should I do? Are you in RCIA right now? Because technically, you're not bound by Catholic rules if you're not Catholic yet. So like your situation right now, if you were a confirmed Catholic and you've been through catechism class or RCIA and learned all about the rules of Catholicism, then you're held accountable for sinning in those ways because you've been taught the faith and learned about the morality of Catholicism. But if you're not Catholic, I start RCIA in September of 2021. Yeah. So if you're not Catholic yet, you're not going to go to hell if you mortal sinned because you're not held by that code. So I would personally talk to your priest about it and let the priest guide you through what you did and what happened. But eventually, it'll all be forgiven at your first confession or your baptism if you're not baptized yet. But it's not a big deal or something to worry about. In the early church, RCIA was 3 years long, and so people would be learning about the faith and living and have sinned in their past, but they're in RCIA, they're attending Mass, they're learning about the church, and then they'll get baptized at the end of the 3 years and all their sins will be forgiven. But there was never this mindset where people were freaking out and they're like, oh wow, like I did this in my past life, I mortal sinned, I'm gonna go to hell. Like, no, you're already part of the Catholic system in attending Mass, learning about the faith, and then you will get your baptism eventually once you get confirmed or your first confession and everything. So I told my priest, but I didn't tell him my specific sin. Yeah, I mean, if you want to be vulnerable, maybe share it with him and he can give you some clarity and peace about the situation, because clearly I think you need more peace about it. But it's not something where, like, you're going to go to hell automatically if you haven't had your opportunity for your baptism or your first confession yet. And there's actually terms for different types of baptism. So there's baptism by desire, which means you wanted to be baptized, but you didn't have the opportunity yet. And then there's baptism of blood, which is when you're an RCIA candidate and there's persecution going on in your country, and then you're murdered and martyred for the faith before you actually get baptized. It's called a baptism of blood. So in your situation, if you mortal sinned before Easter when you were baptized, it'd be a baptism by desire. So there is some theology of what situation you're in, but I understand it can be stressful. I know when I was in RCIA, I started living by like Catholic morality. I changed some of the things I was doing in my life to fit with Catholic teaching before I even technically had to. And so I think obviously it's a good idea. RCIA, a huge part of that should be changing behavior. But you don't need to worry about going to hell when you're not part of the Catholic system officially yet. You said on your last live that you believe that people are monkeys. I never would say the phrase people are monkeys. That's not true. I believe in evolution. You don't believe that people are from Adam and Eve? So it's a both and. It's not an either or. The Catholic Church supports evolution and science. I think we should all get behind modern science. I think that's amazing. I think it's great evangelism for everyone else, when as Catholics we can get behind intellectualism and research and top scientists. So the Catholic Church, there's not an opposition to it. Let's see the exact papal document. Wait a second. I know where I can find it. Here we go. Pope Pius the 12th. So Pope Pius the 12th wrote a document about evolution. Let's see. Pope Pius the 12th. Evolution. Humana Generis. That's what it's called. 1950 Humana Generis. So go check it out. Here, I'll put it in the chat. Here's the Vatican link. I'm pretty sure if I screenshot it on my computer, then it goes on my phone as well. Let's see. Am I not able to add to the chat? I guess not. What is this? I'm failing at technology right now. Okay, I'm gonna go to the YouTube. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Vatican document on evolution being right. Okay, cool. I put it in the chat so you guys can go read that if you're unsure about evolution. 5 Kai Dragon, all caps. Guess who's a confirmed Catholic? I was confirmed Saturday night, and I'm so happy. We're so happy with you. I picked Saint Joanna, and I received the blood of Christ instead of the body because of my wheat allergy. Oh, I'm so happy that even during the pandemic, you were allowed to receive the wine. That's so exciting. I'm so happy. Okay. Science and faith go hand in hand. I think St. Thomas Aquinas was for both science and faith. TJ Entertainment Experience says, are you more of old school Taylor Swift, meaning you like her early country sound, or do you like more of her pop sound? So my favorite albums are Speak Now and Red and Reputation. Those are my 3 favorite albums. I love her. I was like, some cool songs, and then Folklore, I was like, and then the Evermore, I was like, I don't know, I just really haven't liked her last 3 albums that much. I think that it's totally fine. Like, everyone has a unique music taste, and so it makes sense that, like, some albums will be absolutely amazing and other ones I won't like, so it totally depends on the person. Irene says, Lizzie, how was Fiat 90? Could you share some experiences? So it was really hard. I think that a lot of people, when they have finished a day of work, there's a lot of exhaustion and stress, and you just kind of want to chill. And I think the way a lot of people chill is like watching YouTube or watching TV or like eating something sweet, or in the morning when you're rushing, like eating sweet with your coffee. Like, there's little delicacies and comforts in life that we rely on. And getting rid of those, it really forces you to find your stress relief and peace in God instead of dopamine sources in your life. So the holy hour every day was absolutely amazing. Sometimes I would do more than an hour because I was really immersed in how I was praying or what I was reading. So I also found that I slept easier because I wasn't watching stuff on my screen late at night. So that helped a lot. I didn't do the cold showers. A lot of people were doing that. I might do that next year if I do the challenge, but it wasn't part of the women's version, so I didn't do it. But I also lost interest in social media. Like, I don't want to go back to social media after not being on it. Like, I went on social media somewhat during it. I just didn't completely give it up because I needed it for work. And midway through, or maybe like a month in, I was just like, I'm so sick of this. Like, I don't want to be online. I don't want to read. I don't want to scroll. It was just something that, like, I think when you're so immersed in God and you're thinking about that stuff all the time, the things of the world just seem boring and not vibrant, not exciting, not something you're interested in. So I think that any addiction I had to social media, which was already probably smaller, just doesn't exist anymore in me. Like, I don't think I'm gonna... I mean, some of my best friends, like, I'll watch their stories and stuff to see what they're doing, but in general, I just feel like it's not for me anymore, for how I've changed. Boo Bunsey Plays says, Lizzie, I know this is a little random, but I love your fairy lights and crosses that are in your room. I don't know, they just make me happy. Oh, I'm so happy you like them. I love them too. Gwyneth said, a Catholic priest discovered the Big Bang Theory. LOL. Someone just changed their username to social media. And it says, Lizzie lost interest in me. It's too bad. I loved her. Manuel says, Lizzie, my grandma gave me Our Lady of the Sorrows rosary. It's beautiful. Is there any particular meaning to this rosary? I have no idea. I've never heard of it. Chai tea is so good. Ahmed says, do you find Judaism and Catholicism to be similar, or is it just me? Mariana says, evolution doesn't mean we come from monkeys. And then she says again, evolution says that humans share a common ancestor with monkeys and not that we come from monkeys. Yeah, so it's totally a straw man argument. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if this comment I'm reading is a racial slur or not. I think it's a typo. I'm gonna delete it. I don't want to read that and then someone take this out of context. But they were talking about the trial that's going on in Minnesota, is it? I don't want to say it. I don't want to get demonetized. But hopefully the guy is guilty on multiple counts. But I was talking to my fiance last night about the trial, and I was just saying how much I would never want to be in a jury. I just think it would be horrible having to relive all these details, violence, gore, death. It's just, it would be horrible having to hear in depth about that situation that so many of us watched the 8-minute video of him dying. Imagine being part of the jury and having to be thinking about that like every day for several weeks. I could not handle it. I would just be crying during the jury. I know I personally probably would never be selected to be on a jury because they ask you a lot of questions ahead of time to try to figure out who's the best person. And I'm pro jury nullification, which basically means if you disagree with the punishment for a crime, even if you think they're guilty, you will say innocent just because you disagree with the law. And so if it was, for example, like a capital punishment case or something that I disagreed with the law that was written, I would intentionally go against the law. So that's actually a good tip. If you ever get selected for jury duty and don't want to be picked to be on the jury, you can just say, I'm pro jury nullification, and you'll automatically get kicked out. So yeah, I feel horrible though for everyone who has to, and then the family has to experience the trial too. That must be horrible. I can't imagine that. Mimi says, hi Lizzie, have you listened to Demi Lovato's new album yet? Yes, I talked about it for like 5 minutes at the beginning of the video. We're like 37 minutes in now. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I love every single song. I think it's so amazing. It's such depth. I think everyone should listen to it from the very beginning to the very end of the album. She talks about addiction, her overdose, her eating disorder, death, her family. It's so much depth in the music. I feel like so many albums nowadays are just about hooking up and breakups and relationships and very shallow content and catchy, whereas her album is catchy, but it also has so much depth. She talks about real hard experiences in life that people go through and how they suffer, and it's amazing. It's a masterpiece. It's such great art. JS, I just got here. How long have we been live streaming? For 38 minutes so far. You see me rolling? That's so funny. I totally understand why that would be useful. Ahmed, if being Catholic doesn't work out, would you become Orthodox? I've heard in one of your videos you said you would even become Jewish if it doesn't work out. So by it doesn't work out, just to be clear, this isn't like, oh, I didn't fit into Catholicism. It wasn't for me. By not fit, it would be like, I discovered evidence that it's wrong. So if Catholicism is wrong, I would obviously be Orthodox or one of the Oriental Orthodox churches, and then Jewish, and then agnostic. So that's how it would go. Gwyneth, in England, I don't think you're allowed to leave the jury unless you're having a baby or you're really sick or something. I don't know how it works in America. So I was talking about jury selection. So if you get picked to come to jury selection. That's like a big group of people, and then they pick from that group. So I'm just saying that if I was selected to be part of the pool that they choose from, I probably wouldn't be chosen. So Zuzu says, hello, I just want to let you know that you are one of the reasons that led me to Christianity. Aw, that's so exciting. Lizzie's biceps. We are making a rare appearance on the stream today. I'm actually really weak. Like, my upper body is horrible, which I know is so cliche for women, that our upper body is really weak and our lower body is stronger. But lately I've been doing, like, over the past few months, I've been doing a lot of lower body leg workouts and ab workouts, and that's it, and running. I haven't really done any arm workouts. So I used to be able to do pull-ups and push-ups, sets of like real push-ups, sets of push-ups. So I know how to get strong in my upper body, but I just haven't been interested in it lately. So maybe I'll go through a phase where I care about that again. I did the Kayla It Seems Sweat app. And I think 2016, part of 2017, I wasn't subscribed to the app for a year, but I learned all the workouts, and then I just did them on my own. And she does lay down push-ups, which is where you lower yourself to the ground and then you push yourself up. So it's not like you are holding yourself right above the ground, you just fall and then you push yourself up. So you do like a backwards push-up basically, and when you do that enough times, then you're able to do a full push-up. So it's actually really fast that when you do the lay down push-ups, where you can get into doing a full push-up, like so fast. Within like 2 weeks, you can start doing actual push-ups if you do the lay down push-ups. The person just changed their YouTube username to some pull-ups and some push-ups. Lizzie used to hit us hard back in the day. Bruno, what happened to your voice? I don't know. Did my voice change? I'm streaming from my phone, so the audio might be different. Jay says they weave Genesis and John's first chapter beautifully. Yep, I love the reading so much. 5 Kai Dragon. Lizzie, do you have any tips on how to sort of pray to your patron saint? Like, what should I ask? Just any prayer requests that you have. So usually I pray for everyone in my life to become Catholic is like the #1 thing. People converting into Christianity. Also, if I'm going through something hard, like if my mental health is in a bad place, a lot of times I pray for a ton of my friends. Like if one of my friends is hurting or going through something. If I have a big thing going on at work, like I'm leading a meeting or I'm doing a talk or something, I pray before big work things. So it's literally anything you're praying for. I will say, like, I pray to other people's patron saints for them. And if they're not Catholic, I pray for the saint who is on their birthday. I ask that saint to pray for them. So my personal patron saint, I really just ask to be there for me before I'm doing presentations or speaking events or YouTube videos. If I feel really lost and exhausted, I always ask my patron saint to be with me, and I always do well in speaking events. So I talked about this in a video years ago. But when I was in Ireland, I did a lot of talks when I was there. And the last talk, I had written out word for word, and last minute, the priest I was there with didn't like it. And he said, you have to change it like 2 hours before. And so I honestly winged it. I just asked my patron saint to be there for me, and I completely winged it, and it was amazing. They said it was so great. I did really well, and I just asked my patron saint to be there with me. And ever since then, whenever I do speaking events or feel unprepared for life, or even when I'm filming a YouTube video and feel so exhausted, sometimes it takes like an hour to film, it's getting really late, I'm so tired, I ask my patron saint to be there for me. So mine isn't a lot of work contexts, but yeah, so it's literally whatever you're struggling through, whatever you already pray for, you can ask your patron saint to pray with you. I also create saint rosary groups. one of my Catholic friends did this, so I do this sometimes, where when I pray my rosary, I ask other people in heaven to pray the rosary with me. I think it's so sweet. Lizzie's food. Alex, how do we talk to our guardian angel? So it's the same thing. If you just need help with something and you're watching out for your health or you're in a high stress situation, I feel like guardian angel, I thank my guardian angel a lot because I feel like she's just been there for me through everything. And I'm not allowed to say she because guardian angels don't have genders, but I think of my guardian angel as female. So a lot of times, like if I'm traveling, if it's like in a car, in a plane, if it's something where you could die on your commute, I always ask my guardian angel, or if I'm walking at night or something, or if I'm going through a sickness or something's happening, I pray to other people's guardian angels too and ask them to convert the person into Christianity or to be there with them through some sickness. So kind of like life-threatening situations is where I have my guardian angel intervene. And then my patron saint is work situations. And then everyone else is saints and guardian angels for their lives too. Alex, that's so funny. Lizzie's patron saint. Lizzie is always asking me for one thing or another, but she's never even offered to buy me lunch or anything in return. So selfish. You look a lot like Brazilian host TV show called Patricia Abravenzel. Let's see. People tell me doppelgangers sometimes, and I'm like, I literally can't see it. So let's see if I look like this person. Sorry, my internet is so slow right now. A guy came up. Is this a joke? Oh, okay. A woman came up. I don't know why a guy came up first. Oh, I kind of see it. Interesting. Okay. Taylor says, I was baptized and confirmed on Easter Vigil this past Saturday. Yay! I'm so happy. That guy, Giovanni, since angels don't have genders, are they the only beings who are actually non-binary? Genuine question, I'm not trolling. I mean, I wouldn't use that politically loaded language to describe guardian angels, and I don't encourage anyone to do that, but I get your point. Joanna, how do you find your patron saint? I feel like this is such a hard question. Because mine was very organic. I know some people like read a book full of saints and learn different stories about different saints and how you would relate to them. For me, it was just when I was becoming Catholic, it was someone whose writings proved Catholicism to me. So it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. Like, that can be my patron saint. It wasn't like I went out of my way trying to think about my patron saint. It just like happened. So I don't know what to say to people who have no idea. I would just say read different writings of different saints and find something that clicks with you. The angel says, don't be using politically loaded language to describe us. Alex, guardian angels tell God of our whole life in our exit interview. So either they praise God for his justice or we celebrate and praise God when we pass. Our exit interview. Oh, that's so scary thinking about. Irene, it takes me a while when I ask my patron to pray for me before bigger stressful moments because I have a lot of patron saints and I always ask my guardian angel. So yeah, it takes me a while. I ask everyone on my saint squad at the same time. I like have a meeting and I'm like, and guardian angel, here's what's happening. Pray for this situation. So I just have a team meeting together for my saint squad. I guess a squad meeting. Gwyneth, is your wedding dress going to be modest or unmodest as it's the one day in your life all about you? So I actually take mass modesty really seriously. I have over the past year. I made my video last year why I stopped wearing pants to mass, and for Americans, pants is not underwear. In Europe, I don't know all of Europe, but some European countries, pants are underwear. So I think that's why that video got a lot of views, because people literally thought I was saying that I don't wear anything to mass. But in America, pants are just like, rather than a skirt or a dress, it's pants. So I also am not like showing my shoulders anymore at mass. I mean, I don't know, I might. I just feel like really, really convicted on modesty standards. So going to a wedding is mass in front of Jesus as well, in front of the Blessed Sacrament. So I was actually looking at wedding dresses last night on Instagram, and it's crazy how, sorry, I'm trying to get out of the habit of saying crazy. It's, I don't know what word to use besides crazy. It's so interesting when you say one thing all the time, it's so hard to change your vocabulary. So it's extreme to me how immodest a lot of wedding dresses are, because you're there in front of your whole family and all your friends and cousins and extended family. It's not like, oh, it's just about me. Like if it was about me, I would just like be in my home wearing whatever I wanted. So it is kind of like all about you, but it's not, because the wedding is for your family. Otherwise you would just elope. So I don't really like that argument a lot, but I know it's not going to be tight against my butt, because I've seen dresses like that where it like hugs your figure so much, and I was like, oh, like it's going to be loose after my waist. Definitely, I don't like that. I think that's like so sexy, and it's definitely not going to be off the shoulder. It's going to basically be eyelet lace, and I might have sleeves. I don't know. So we'll see whichever one I pick. I'll definitely bring you guys along in a YouTube video on the wedding dress shopping. But yeah, modesty is a really important thing. I don't know, it might be hard to find a dress because of that. So before I go wedding dress shopping, I'm going to a different city to do it. I'm gonna do a lot of research in the city of different shops and make sure they have options that would work for me. But they can also customize things. Like most wedding dresses have to be customized anyway, so I think it would be easy to make something a little bit more modest. I've only been to one wedding in my life. Yeah, I didn't start going to a lot of weddings until post-college, when a lot of people I knew started getting married. But yeah, I was the same way, where I'd only been to like one wedding or something, besides like when I was a baby. But in 2016 is when a lot of my friends started getting married, and I remember in 2019 I went to like 4 weddings, and then after that I was supposed to go to 2 in 2020, but they were both, I mean, they weren't canceled, they had like family only weddings. So Argina, are you scared to get injections? So I don't know if you're talking about the vaccine or you're talking about like beauty fillers, because I would never get fillers. They cause blindness. A lot of people don't know this, but pretty much like most of the non-Catholic YouTubers and Instagram influencers who you follow get filler, which basically it gets rid of wrinkles, it gets rid of dark eye circles, it makes your lips bigger, it makes you have like higher cheekbones, it changes your nose. Like there's so many things that injectable fillers do. And there have been cases of complete blindness by doing filler. If you accidentally hit the blood vessel, oxygen stops going to your eye, and then that eye will be like blind. And there's ways to undo it if you have like a certain type of like thing, like syringe to put in. But there's only been one case where it's been successfully reversed the blindness that's happened. So also, filler is so expensive. I don't think it would ever be something in my budget or that I'd want to spend that much money on. It's, I think, like $1,500 for one filler. So if you were going to get your face done, that could be like thousands of dollars to make your face better. But that's why like all the YouTubers and actors end up looking the same, because everyone gets the same type of filler. But yeah, not for me. I wouldn't mind though. I mean, the blindness thing is why I would never do it. And the money thing. And I don't have a problem with my face. But yeah, the needles in a sense don't bother me at all. I've always been very chill about injections. Like growing up, if I had to get a vaccine, I didn't care. Probably when I was a baby I did. But I remember when I was in 4th grade, I was sitting at my assigned seat, and this girl in our group said, yeah, I just got my shot for whatever yesterday, and it didn't hurt at all. And I was like, oh, okay, like they don't hurt at all. And because she said it like that, I went into my shot the next day so chill and expecting it to not hurt at all. And if you go into it thinking it's not gonna hurt, then it literally doesn't hurt. So ever since I was 9, I've been so chill about, and I give blood a lot too. So because I give blood, the needle for giving blood is way bigger than the one for just getting a vaccine. So because if you give blood a lot, vaccines are like nothing. And anytime you give blood, like even if they just need a few vials of your blood to test, that's less blood than if you're like giving blood and they have like the bag full of blood. So that's what I recommend, just giving blood a lot, and then you'll get used to big needles and then won't care about it. So Melanie says, I would just get Botox on my forehead. Irene says, love yourself the way God created and loves you. Keith says, Lizzie, do you like chocolate? Yes! On Easter Vigil, when I got back from Mass, I just started eating chocolate because Fiat 90 was over because it was Easter Mass. So I was like, yes, I can finally eat chocolate again. Dark chocolate, of course. Chocolate is vegan. A lot of people don't know. Melanie says, also, your filler moves around. It doesn't stay in the same place. Yeah, so I watch a lot of YouTubers who do filler and all the beauty modifications. And yeah, the filler like moves and makes their face kind of round. So everyone starts looking the same. Adele says, I always miss the live stream because it's 4 a.m. in my time zone. Heather says, fillers look so fake and unnecessary. Most people don't need them. 5Kai Dragon, all the talk about needles is making me lightheaded. Oh, I'm sorry. Raul, which vaccine did you get? I haven't gotten it yet. Someone was just asking me about my thoughts on needles and injections and stuff. But no, I haven't got it. One of my friends got it because she's an attorney for the state. So she got her first one. My mom has gotten, I think, both. I talked to her yesterday, but we didn't talk about it. But she did get her first one like a few weeks ago, so I assume she got her second one. My dad's on the list, so he's gonna get it soon. Boo Bunny Place says, at the end of Easter Vigil, my parish did a chocolate fondue fountain. You see me rolling. I made pancakes from scratch for my family on Easter. Aww. 5Kai Dragon, do you have advice on how to handle family who are anti-Catholic? I'm the only Catholic now, and there's been rude comments made towards me in the church. Oh, yeah, it happens to all of us. You just kind of have to deal with it and pray. Offer up that hurt that you feel based upon their comments as a prayer request for the conversion of them into Catholicism. So I don't really have any advice. You just have to deal with it. Melanie says, I got Moderna and I felt sick after. Yeah, that's supposed to happen. I don't know if I should get the second one. Like, not the regular side effects, but almost passing out. Yeah, I mean, they have, like, regular side effects, but everyone's body is different, and so everyone's going to react to it differently. So you're totally fine. You didn't die from it or anything. It's just normal how you're supposed to react to it. I know for me, I have really low blood pressure, and so I pass out all the time. So I'm sure that the experience of like having a needle in you could make you pass out if you don't like needles as much. So I'll share when I get the vaccine what my experience is like, but if that's like a symptom that you can have of almost passing out, that's something that would probably happen to me because I have really low blood pressure. I almost pass out all the time. I keep like changing my supplements to try to get like the best ones. And currently my best friend gave me some vitamins that she was using that she didn't want to take because she's not vegan, so she doesn't do supplements. Although, like, everyone should be taking supplements, but I feel like as a vegan, you have to have B12. So then it's like, since you're already taking a pill, just get a multivitamin that has other things in it. But I think magnesium was something I was deficient in because it really changed my digestion when I had that. But yeah, I always get iron in my supplements and I still almost pass out all the time. But my psychiatrist told me that it's something in my bipolar meds. Like one of the side effects is like almost passing out of like all of them. So it's just my normal. Okay. I'll be right back, you guys. guys. I'll be right back. Hey guys, I made a mess. I don't know why I like flung the fork over there. Okay, where did it go? Okay, cool. Okay. You kicked your glass of water? No, it was just my fork. I was like holding my fork and I like flung it over. My cup is fine. Gwyneth says, I saw my grandparents' wedding album yesterday. Oh, that's so sweet. Five Kai Dragon says, I get allergic reactions to vaccines. Like all of them? What is in it that you're allergic to? Alex says, Lizzie, can I ask a girl out after church or is that frowned upon? That's totally fine. That's a great place to meet people. Obviously, don't do it when you are praying after Mass. So, like, if you're inside the actual church building where you worship, where, like, the Eucharist is up there and, like, the pews and everything, like, don't ask there. Wait until you get into the room right outside the doors or outside to talk to someone. I personally am against talking after Mass. I know people have very strong opinions about this, but I think you can talk to people outside in the narthex, the room between the main church and the outside, or you can go to the room where they have like breakfast and coffee and snacks and everything and talk to people. But there's no reason to talk to people inside the church because people pray afterwards. So, and at least don't talk before Mass because people come to pray before Mass too. And yeah, my experience is that the people who talk are older people, like boomers, are always the ones who talk. It's never young people or kids who are talking. It's always like the older crowd. I don't know why you'd think they would be even more serious about the silence thing, but that's just my opinion on it. Alex, so like awkwardly wait for her, trying to make it not cringe. Do you know anyone else at the Mass who you could talk to after Mass? Does she stay and pray for a long time? Well, maybe you should just stay and pray, and then when she stops praying, you can walk out. Oops, we stop praying at the same time. I don't know. Lizzie's fork. I hit the ground running. I don't understand how this person constantly changes their username. The Novus Ordo is coffee and donuts 24/7. Yeah, my parish has coffee and donuts after. We have this like courtyard area in between the rectory and the main church. And it's like an outdoor area with chairs that we can sit on. So it's a great place for the coffee and donuts. Irene says, what do you do if you're addicted to social media? Sometimes I can't stop scrolling YouTube and other social media platforms. Just have a rule where you're not allowed to be on it. I mean, like with any addiction, you just have to like fill it with other things in your life. So I would literally just set a timer where after a certain amount of time, you're not allowed to keep watching YouTube or something else, and instead do another activity like reading a book, reading your Bible, cleaning. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can spend your time doing. I think ultimately just watching secular YouTube and social media that's not God-centered, you're just gonna feel empty in the end. Like, it's so fun and so fun and so fun, and then you don't feel fulfilled. Like, the deepest part of you is not satisfied and content. And so I think it's just all about thinking of the long-term outcome of spending so much time online. Like, how does it make you feel at the end of the day? Do you feel close to God? Do you feel at peace? Do you feel indescribable joy? And if you don't feel those things, then change how you're spending your time. Ahmed says, do you watch the 700 Club? It's a Protestant Christian show on CBN. I've never heard of CBN, and I've never heard of 700 Club before. Five Kai Dragon. Lizzie, have you heard the song Head Above Water by Avril Lavigne? It's amazing. Yes, I have. I listened to that song on repeat when I was finishing writing my book. It was like my song. I listened to it like 50 times a day for days at a time. I'm obsessed with it. Does anyone watch Mother Angelica on EWTN? I have before, but I don't regularly watch her. You see me rolling, you finished your book? Yes, I am. Now my fiance is editing it. It's taking a long time because he works full time. So on his free days, he's been reading it. Melanie, I'm working out while watching this. Yeah, what I started doing is listening to the Father Mike Schmidt's Bible podcast while I'm working out, and I get such a better ab workout in when I'm listening to it, because if you're just listening to music when you're doing your ab workout, it's painful doing the workout. You're like, ow, 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 in your head constantly. And so if you're just listening to like music, it's easy to lose track of the music and just focus on how much your body is hurting. And so if you're listening to the podcast and you're listening to the Bible, that requires such a greater comprehension and energy and focus to listening to the Bible that it takes away the focus from how painful the ab workout is. And I'm still able to like maintain form and everything, but I do a stronger workout when I'm listening to the Bible rather than listening to music, because you forget how painful it is because you're so focused on God. So I think for the rest of my life, I'm always going to be listening to the Bible when doing my ab workout at least. I think the YouTube video I do for abs is just very intense. It's like 10 minutes straight, and it's like 30 seconds of each exercise, and yeah. Sometimes I do it twice though. I always feel 3 different ways after workouts depending on the day. Sometimes you feel exhausted and strong and like you did such a great workout. Other times you feel nothing and it's really easy. And then other times you're painful the entire time. And sometimes when I feel really strong after, I just do it twice. But it totally depends. I just finished a whole pizza. Wow. It depends on the size of the pizza. I can eat entire pizzas. Did you know that that phone was accidentally invented? It's supposed to be this. Huh. Does anyone listen to Father Isaac Mary or Father Ripperger? I think eventually I'm going to the cave and watch Father Ripperger, but everyone is saying that he thinks bipolar is demon possession. And I just have zero interest. Is the Bible in a Year podcast free? Yes. It's available on Spotify, Audible, Apple Podcasts, Hallow app. I listened to it on the Hallow app because they sponsored me a while ago and they just gave me a free access to the app forever, I think. So it's just easier for me to watch it there because I already have that app on my phone. But Audible, you can listen to it too if you have that. And you don't have to pay for it on any of the platforms. Danielle says, Lizzie, did you get my Instagram message? No, I have not been on Instagram in weeks. I liked your Stations of the Cross Zoom meeting. I am going to go on Instagram again and post and reply to people and stuff. Argan, what's bipolar? Bipolar disorder. I'm talking about the mental illness. Melanie says, Lizzie, I really want to go vegan, but I'm so overwhelmed. Can you make a video of things you wish you would have known before going vegan or basic vegan grocery list? So I have an entire playlist of vegan videos, but I'm going to link you my recipe book. It's just a Google Doc. It's not like a physical book, but it's free online for anyone to access. So let me find it real quick. I created it a year ago because I made a video on how to go vegan for Lent, and I give advice in the... Why don't you just watch the How to Go Vegan for Lent video? Because I talked about how to actually go vegan. But here, I'll link that video, and in the video description is the Google Doc of the meal plan, so definitely watch that. So here we go. Start by watching this video, the first link, and then I have a whole vegan playlist, and I'm getting it for you. Lizzie's Answers vegan videos. There's like 15. There's one video called What I Eat in a Week Vegan. I'll link this one in particular. And I just show my grocery haul for several weeks. So the video I just linked, I went grocery shopping for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I showed on a table like all the food that I bought and what I use it for and what I make. And then you can look at the Google Doc for the recipe book to see what recipes I actually make. And there's 14 breakfast, lunches, and dinners. So I feel like that's a lot of recipes you can make and eat. Catholic Paul, April is Autism Awareness Month. Please pray for God for my son whom is on the spectrum. So I recently found this YouTuber who talks about autism. Her name is, let's see. I'm so bad at names. Where is she? Oh no, I can't find her. Her name is... I'm honestly so bad at names. Let's see. Okay, Paige. She is a YouTuber and she talks about autism. She started on TikTok and she's made so many videos about it. And I've learned so much about autism. It's fascinating. Like, one of the things that she shared is that for some reason their connections with like sleep receptors, eating receptors, and even when you have to go to the bathroom, like if you have to pee or you have to sleep or you have to eat, their sensory connections don't work the way non-autistic people do. And so she has to set a timer in her phone to go to the bathroom, to eat, to sleep, or like she won't. I think that's so interesting. But she said that she used to have like kidney problems growing up because she would just never pee because she didn't have the same sensory connections that other people do. And so yeah, that was really interesting. She just talks a lot about growing up without being diagnosed and how for women it manifests a lot differently than the way the stereotypes are of how it works. So I just think it's beautiful educating myself on different mental disorders. You see me rolling. I'm on the spectrum too, actually. Catholic Paul. There's also a Catholic priest on YouTube who has autism. I will check her out. I noticed that with my godson. Thank you. Tale as Old as Time. Thank you for the donation. Hey Lizzie, I'm Protestant exploring the early church, attending Catholic and Orthodox. So relatable. But my husband, also Protestant, is very against it. Any advice? So I would try to include him in everything that you're researching. There are 2 textbook examples of spouses converting on the way what not to do and what to do. So what not to do is Scott Hahn and his wife Kimberly Hahn. So he did all of the research by himself. He read a ton of books, didn't share it with her, did all of his own thinking, his own praying, and then was like, hey, I want to become Catholic, without sharing with her what he'd been reading for months and months and months. And the other example is Crossing the Tiber by Stephen Ray and his wife. he included his wife in the entire process. He talked with her about everything that he was reading. He had her read the same books that he was reading and just dialogued with her through everything. And so it might be a little bit too late for you if you've already been doing a ton of research on your own and attending on your own. So just take a step back and share with your partner about everything that you're reading and learning, and make him an active part of the intellectual process. I know with my family, I messed up because I did everything by myself without sharing with people in my life what I was doing and what I was thinking. So I made a whole video on how to convert people into Catholicism. Let's see if I can find the video. Here we go. How to convert Protestants to become Catholic. So I talked about it in that video, which was really helpful. And then I also have this video, how to tell people you're becoming Catholic. Let's see. Dean Barker says, I was born with autism, which makes me way more black and white. On the bright side, that means I'll probably never become a modernist. I am so black and white too. It's part of bipolar too. And another thing that obviously I don't have autism, but some of the symptoms do overlap with other mental illnesses. So being very sensitive to fabrics and light and sounds, I'm similar. It's called HSP, highly sensitive persons, where everything is just like, everything you see and feel and hear is just like exemplified. So obviously mine isn't as severe as the YouTuber who I watch. She was saying growing up, she always had to cut her tags off of every single shirt because of the texture she just like could not deal with. So I think that is interesting. I'm very sensitive about sensory things as well. Danielle, wow, half of the people in this live stream have autism. I officially found out in December that I was on the spectrum after years of wondering. It explains my mental health and social struggles a lot. My priest is on the spectrum as well. So interesting. Gwyneth says, don't read... Oh. I almost read it, sorry. Okay. Chaya, I have high sensitivity too. I also overthink a lot. Boo Bunny plays. I have a bad virus and it's been pretty miserable, but this really cheered me up. Thank you, Lizzie. Oh, I'm so happy. I hope you get well soon. Ahmed, are you and Keith Nestor going to collab? Yes, we will really soon. It probably will be my next video. Taylor says, I have ADHD. This overlaps with a lot of conditions. Danielle, we had wondered if I could be bipolar also. The deal with it being diagnosed in females, it is definitely different than males. Dean says, my parish now has a priest, deacon, and deacon's wife with COVID. That's super sad. Irene, excited for your collab. Vanny says, thanks for inspiring me to fast on Wednesdays and Fridays. I'm so excited because it's definitely been a lot of dopamine releases the past 2 days with being done with Fiat 90. I've just been having sweets and listening to music constantly. I haven't done any TV or movies yet, but I'm excited to do the fasting again on Wednesday and Friday. It will be so fun. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, I'm so excited. I think tomorrow I'm gonna watch Seaspiracy. It's a new movie that came out on Netflix. It's about the fishing industry and how much that hurts all the animals in the ocean. Not just the animals who die and are caught and eaten, but all the other animals are affected too. So there's a video called Cowspiracy, a movie documentary made a few years ago that's free on YouTube to watch. So they also made Seaspiracy. Let's see if it's on YouTube. I'm pretty sure I have to reenact my Netflix sponsorship. I mean Netflix contract? Netflix membership. Okay, let's see. Seaspiracy. Uh-oh. A YouTuber I watch, Unnatural Vegan, she made a video posted 7 minutes ago that says Seaspiracy kind of sucks. That's so mean. Wow, there's so many reviews of Seaspiracy. Seaspiracy debunked by fishing industry? Wow. This is so dramatic. I never would. I do understand why it's so controversial. Because they're fighting against an entire industry, essentially. Orthodox still fast on Wednesday and Friday, but they fast from certain foods rather than limiting the number of meals. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I made a whole video talking about my Wednesday and Friday fast that I want you guys to do too. So for me, I am just not eating fake meat, fake cheese, fake eggs, fake milk. So I can't eat any fake animal products because instead you would like go vegetarian or vegan, but I can't do that because I'm already vegan. So I'm just giving up the fake animal products. Instead, I have to eat rice and beans and tofu and quinoa and lentils and pasta. So I'm doing that. And then I'm also giving up caffeine, alcohol. I'm just drinking straight water, no almond milk, no LaCroix. And then I'm not eating desserts, and I'm not doing TV, movies, secular YouTube, social media, or secular music every Wednesday and Friday. So those are the main things that I'm doing. A tale as old as time. Better to be fishers of men, eh? Joshua Horn. Are you Trent Horn's brother or sibling? Okay, I always doubt about Catholicism and worry that Protestants are right. Do you have any advice? Just do more reading. Like, read the opposite perspectives. Read the perspectives you like. I mean, you have to get to a point where you really care about truth and you really just surrender and trust God with all of who you are, and you're willing to change religions if you need to conform with truth. And so you just have to trust the process and trust God and be humble and willing to change. Because if there's a viewpoint that seems right, but you don't believe it's right, you should research into that anyways. Like, when I was leaving Protestantism, it was so painful and it was scary reading the opposite perspectives, but ultimately it led me towards truth. And since being Catholic, rereading Protestant perspectives has been really beneficial in helping me understand the opposite side. So there's never, ever, ever a reason to avoid reading opposite perspectives. In fact, I think it will make your faith stronger. If Catholicism is true, then you will not be changing your beliefs at all. Argan Ama, thank you so much for the donation. The way they get to see the most important part of a wedding mass if they want to party afterwards. Oh, Lizzie, you should send out the wedding invites with only the directions for the mass location and when the mass is over so they can get the directions for the reception. That way they get to see the most important part of a wedding, the mass, if they want to party afterwards. No! Don't eat fish! Dorcas says, Lizzie, I've always wondered, you know how there are Amish who isolate and live in communities with one another? Is there something like that for Catholics? Not that I've heard of. There is the thing that Amy Coney Barrett was part of was kind of like a group, but I don't think they were living by themselves away from society. So yeah, I mean, you could create one if you're really into that. You see me rolling, we need the nutrition from fish. No, you don't. We can get it in vegan foods. Dean Barker, monastic communities. Yeah, that's true. We do have. Yeah, that's true. We do have like the Amish. And I mean, living a lot of times it has been like they do grow their own food and everything. Monastic life, maybe. I don't know why I didn't think that immediately. Is it true that the early church fathers didn't support papal infallibility? And Orthodox Christian told me that. Wrong! You should read the book Upon This Rock by Stephen Ray. Upon This Rock by Stephen Ray. I also made an entire video sharing what the church fathers believe about papal infallibility. I'll link the video. This is one of a very well researched video. I read several books within like a couple weeks to make the video. So I will link the video on early church fathers' view on the Pope. Cool. Argan, fish have omega stuff. Vegan foods have omega as well. Let's read a list of vegan foods with omega-3. Starting with avocado, oil, walnuts, soybeans, leafy green vegetables, chia seeds, flax seeds, yeah, also peanut butter and almond butter have really good omega-3s as well. So basically like avocados, nuts, seeds, nut butters. And also oil. I think a lot of people think eating a lot of oil is unhealthy, but that's where I get my fat sources from. And I aspire to have a high fat diet to keep my brain healthy. So I do cook with a lot of olive oil. I also have vegan butter that I put on things or cook with. So those are ways of getting omega-3s. Dorcas says, can you talk more about monastic living? Because I just looked it up and it sounds like a personal lifestyle. I want to raise my children in a Catholic community. So the problem is that monastic life is for single people. It's not a place where people raise their families. So I know your intention, and it totally makes sense for me that you'd want to raise your children in a really tight-knit community where they share everything together and they have this close-knit faith where they grow closer to God as a group. But yeah, I don't really think we have that. Boo Bunny says, I have to go to bed, but have a great night, Lizzie. Good night. Tale as old as time, maybe getting really connected with a local parish you trust. Satay, I like Catholic eating cake. But you could always just create your own community of Catholic families. Dean Barker, certain Russian Orthodox have I don't speak Russian. Communities with only believers. I did a YouTube video where I tried Russian snacks that were literally from Russia because my parents live there, so some of their friends mailed them snacks. And I spoke Russian in it. I learned Russian for the video. I don't remember any of it, but I was speaking some. Joshua Horn, today's saint is Saint Vincent Ferrari. His life was amazing. He performed so many miracles. Aww. Argan, Lizzie, do you know about the Sto Niño? Is the oldest Catholic statue in the Philippines. That's so cool. Chaya, I want to visit Russia. I was supposed to go to Russia when I was in college doing my summer missionary stuff, and the Russia group got canceled, so then I got put on the Thailand team. And I didn't want to go to Thailand. It was not a top pick or anything I was interested in, but I vibed with it so well. You see me rolling. I think you're talking to me because my name is Joshua. Satay, are you American? Yes. I lived in Russia because my parents were missionaries there, but they flew back to the States for me to be born just because they wanted me to be born in the country physically, which I don't think would have mattered if I was born in a hospital in another country, but they always say, just in case if I wanted to be president in the future, it would be easily confirmed. Would you send your kids to Catholic school? Yes, I am really open to everything. I'm open to public school, I'm open to homeschooling, I'm open to Catholic school, I'm open to charter school. I don't really have many thoughts on it. I'm not going to be sending my children to school for a long time. I haven't even had my wedding yet, but I'm open to everything. I think I'm very heavily influenced by when I hear someone sharing a viewpoint, I get behind it. And so I've talked to some Catholic influencers who homeschool, pretty much everyone does. And I was like, yeah, homeschooling. And I came back from one video collab and my fiance was like, Liz, you're only saying this because so-and-so is saying it. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. So I don't really know how to, probably my fiance will figure out the schooling situation. John Fisher, bad elements of it. It can be taken to mean isolating completely from the world. We're called to evangelize and refusing to be in this world but not of it. Positive. It has a lot of good advice about positively building authentic Catholic community and culture. Oh, I missed the top comment. John Fisher, you might want to look into Rod Dreher's The Benedict option. Note, he's now Orthodox. And I mean, the whole point of monastic communities is they're isolating from the world, but their entire life and ministry is praying for the world. And so prayers are so much more powerful in a lot of ways than actions because it's the Holy Spirit directly working through people. And so it's not when I was learning about Catholicism growing up in school and church and stuff, and I learned about monastic life and nuns and monks, and I just hated it. I was like, why are they not evangelizing? Why are they not evangelizing? You're cowards. You're not living out Christianity. And then when I was told that they just pray for the world all the time, I was like, oh, that totally makes sense. So we need people who are praying for everyone else. So I don't think it's at all not living out the faith. We have a billion people who are part of the church for a reason. And so everyone has a different role with evangelism. Arjun Arma, do you think your parents will be Catholic someday? Absolutely. If they live long enough, I think they'll figure it out. Duval, what advice would you give to someone who doesn't have godparents for their baptism? I'm not close with any Catholics and my family are not believers. Are you talking about your child's baptism? Yeah, I don't know. Because I wouldn't be in that situation because I have Catholic friends and everything who I would pick as godparents. So, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what you would do in that situation. Keith Gregory says, Lizzie was born in my state of Kentucky. Yes, I only lived there for 2 weeks, though, so I'm not a native. Arjun Arma, why does John Fisherman have a wrench? So that means that you're a moderator, which means you can delete explicit content, comments. If something is inappropriate or it's bullying or it's racist, then the moderators can delete it, because since I'm talking a lot, it's hard for me to be like reading all of the comments and talking at the same time. So the moderators pay attention to the comments very closely, and they remove people, block people, or delete comments, or you can even put someone in timeout, and then they'll get another chance to talk if they realize their wrongs. Duval, do adults need godparents to attend their baptism? No. I mean, that would be sweet, but what if they live in a different state? Lizzie, have you read the UCAT Thoughts? I liked reading it along with the catechism. UCAT. Oh, youth, UCAT. Well, I don't think I'm a youth. When I think of people who fall into the definition of youth, I think of teenagers, high school, and college. So I don't think I'm youth. Satay, is French kissing a sin among married couples? Obviously not. Abigail says, thank you for making such informative videos. Heavens me home. I love you, Kat. You see me rolling says the moderators are workers for Lizzie. Yep. Satay, can you please explain your comment? Heaven says, I love you, Kat. Yeah, I'd honestly never heard of them. Jasmine, you have helped me so much. Oh, like the video. Let's like the video. Before I leave, let's get it to 100 thumbs up. That's always the goal at the end of the video. Patrick says, I just want to thank you, Lizzie, for bringing the spark of theology in re-understanding my faith as a cradle Catholic. You and Journey Home program are the best. Do adults need godparents to attend? Oh, we already read that. You see me rolling. It's at 63 likes. It's at 72, so everyone liked it really fast. Thank you, guys. Dean says, I once told my traditional Catholic priest that I was stuck between Orthodoxy and Catholicism, and he started bashing saints who are canonized in the Orthodox and Catholic churches. Wow, that's wrong. Sam, hi, here's your Indian Catholic friend. Hey, someone was saying at the beginning of the stream that I should visit India soon. Arjun, a sister said when a child died and hasn't been baptized, its soul cannot enter heaven, poor soul. That's kind of like not 100% they're not, but not 100% that they are. A lot of Catholics believe that unbaptized babies will be in heaven. That's not something that is like 100%, but it's also not saying that they are not going to be in heaven. So it's something that the church hasn't made a stance on. In fact, most of the time, the church doesn't have a stance on who's in heaven and who's in hell, unless it's like one of the few people who are canonized Catholic saints. Everyone else, it's like we pray for them after they die. So tale as old as time, I think they're more likely to be in heaven. So that's the kind of statement that you would make. You wouldn't say like, you would say, I think they're more likely, or we don't know. It's just like an agnostic attitude, basically. Devol, do you ever feel alienated in Christian circles as a Catholic in a predominantly Protestant country like America? So I'm the type of person who doesn't stay close to that many people. So the amount of people who I regularly talk to is like 10 people who are like long distance, who I've been friends with in like high school or college. So those people I've known for years and are just a part of my life. And then the other people who I talk to are people at my parish, in my Bible study, in my Rosary group. So I would say like more than half of the people I talk to in my life are Catholic, just because I don't keep a ton of acquaintances from the past. So it doesn't really feel like it's a predominantly Protestant country, just because my social circles are all Catholic. So I've never felt like outnumbered or anything. My friends who are Protestant, a lot of them don't even go to church anymore. So it's kind of like they're Christian, but they're not talking about it all the time because they're not like actively in a Christian community. So obviously my parents are Protestant and they talk about their church and are really involved in everything, but more people in my life are Catholic than Protestant. Obviously the people I'm closest to are Protestant, but in general, when it comes to friends and stuff, I know a lot of people who are Catholic. Ucini Roland says it's pronounced Deus Vault. Deus Vault. I think is it French? It feels like French vibes to me. Dorcas, do you guys garden in the states you're in? This is such a cool question. Everyone respond. I know for me, when I get a house in the future, I totally am going to start a garden. My family lived in Indiana for 5 years, and we had an entire vegetable garden. It had so many things. We had corn, kale, tomatoes, cucumbers, green beans, pumpkin, watermelon. I think I might have been forgetting something. But I think those are some of the vegetables that we grew. We also had a ton of flowers. So yeah, I absolutely loved having a vegetable garden. We had so many amazing food. My job was to water the garden every day. It was so fun. My favorite time was when we had pumpkins. It was just like 1 year we had like a ton of pumpkins on vines growing like all around the yard. So it was so much fun. Jay Swartz just found this comment in one of your videos. Quote, I would like you knew that I have passed to see your videos after recommendations of one of the greatest philosophers of our time, Olavo de Carvalho. A Brazilian philosopher, political pundit, former astrologer, journalist, and right-wing conspiracy theorist living in Richmond, Virginia. I don't think this person knows who I am. Oh! Yeah, I am on his page. Interesting. In 2018, he promoted famoso YouTuber protestante se converte a fa católica. Oh, someone uploaded my story in... Wow, they put like entire translations. That's pretty impressive. You guys want to see? See, someone took my video and they put like translations throughout the entire video. That's so cool. Anyways, and then this philosopher posted it on his Facebook page. So Interesting. Yeah, Portuguese and Spanish. I wish I could afford to translate all my videos into Portuguese and Spanish. I think that would be so powerful. I have so many subscribers from Brazil. Okay. Ariana Hiraman, hi Lizzie, do you have any tips on what to do when you're losing faith? Just connect with God. I think a lot of times we have this idea that if we don't feel like praying, if we don't feel like God loves us, if we don't feel excited to read the Bible, then don't do it. Only do it if you're getting some kind of emotional validation. And that's just not how relationships work. Like, if you're dating someone, you don't just like not talk to them for a week because you're not in like an infatuation state in your relationship. You just like regularly talk to them. And the same with your friends. Like, if one of your friends isn't happy in the moment and they're going through something hard, you don't just not hang out with them or not text them because they're not being like fun. And so it's the same with God. Even if you're not feeling into the relationship, you don't just ditch him and not pray. Like, would you do that to your mom or your best friend or your boyfriend? You wouldn't just like stop having a relationship with them because it doesn't feel so fun in the moment. So it's just about having consistency in your life and how you talk to God and when you pray. And it can be really simple things. It can be listening to the Bible while you're cooking dinner. It can be just before you fall asleep at night praying a decade of the Rosary. It doesn't have to be like elaborate setting aside 1 hour every day with God. Obviously that's amazing, but just fit it, interweave God stuff into your everyday life. Patrick says, Lizzie's videos are awesome. I wish every stray away cradle Catholic could watch and understand those. You see me rolling. I wouldn't be able to focus listening to the Bible while cooking. Yeah, I mean, it depends on which book of the Bible it is, but I regularly read through my physical Bible, but I'll also just randomly listen to a book of the Bible when I'm cooking or cleaning. Lately, I've been doing the Father Mike Schmidt's Bible in a Year podcast. I'm behind, so I've been doing double episodes, and that's been taking like all my cleaning time will be, or working out time will be listening to it. Of lonely people. Ahmed, did Jesus visit purgatory or hell? So that's a really hard question to answer. I'm definitely not up to par on the issue to answer it. The official idea is that he went to hell, but it's interesting. When I was doing my video for purgatory, one of the things that was pretty agreed upon and universal is that the fire that burns in purgatory is the fire that burns in hell. It's very similar. And so it honestly confuses me sometimes reading Bible verses or reading saints talking about purgatory and hell and Hades, and because the Bible doesn't say, well, there's multiple words in the Old Testament and New Testament that we interpret now to be talking about hell and purgatory are Hades and Sheol. So I'm honestly confused about, obviously, my purgatory video. I uncovered a lot of things. I understood it so well in the Catholic tradition. But sometimes when I'm reading saints talking about Hades, it confuses me so much because I just don't understand what that word means for different people. I think there's some variance. So, yeah. Argia, Lizzie, do you know BTS? Is it like the Korean pop duo group? BTS. I think they're not a duo. Let's see. They're a boy band. Okay. Yes, I've heard of them. One of my friends from high school was kind of into them. Chris the Mormon. I am a Mormon. Hi. You see me rolling? It's the same Greek word. Chris the Mormon, I've been vegan for a year now. Yay! For me, it's been 5.5. Raul, I saw or read something recently about how the Western notion of purgatory is a misunderstanding of the toll house. What? Angie Aponte, I have a friend who wished ill of her sister. If she regrets it, that she wished her ill, is she forgiven? She should go to confession. In 1 John, it talks really directly about how if you hate your brother, you cannot say you love God. So I think wishing ill of someone is a very serious sin that needs to be involved in the seal of confession. Are Mormons Christians? So I actually had to delete a video once because I misspoke in the video. And I said that Mormons are Christians right around the time when I was becoming Catholic, and I had to remove it. So essentially, Mormons do not believe in the same Christian God that Christians believe in. So they don't believe in the Trinity, and their baptisms are not valid. They're not Trinitarian baptisms because they don't believe in the God that we believe in. So technically, Mormons cannot be considered Christians. Their baptisms are not Christian baptisms. And yeah, it sounds bad because I know Mormons love God. They're such reverent people. They have one of the highest marriage success rates and one of the highest attendance rates of any religion in the country. And so I have massive respect for them and their lives and their love for each other. But they don't believe in the Christian God, and so they can't be considered Christians because of their Trinitarian theology. Chris the Mormon, how can I learn about the Catholic Church and see if I want to convert? Aw, that's so exciting. So where do we even start? So I'm gonna link a couple videos for you. Okay. Where is it? Here we go. What to read and research. So here's one video, and I talk about a website called New Advent. There's an online Catholic encyclopedia. And so just Google search New Advent, and then any topic, it talks about purgatory, it talks about the Marian dogmas, there's articles about the Pope, apostolic succession. There's so many things on New Advent. So any topic you want, Google New Advent topic and it will come up. Also, there's a Bishop Barron series on Catholicism. So Bishop Barron is a YouTuber, so you can watch his videos, just YouTube search Bishop Barron. And you have to pay for it, but I had a membership for like a year and watched everything on it. So he has an app called the Word on Fire app, and this is from years ago that he created it. But it's like a movie series, an hour long each episode, like dozens of videos talking about Catholic history, Catholic theology. I have videos on so many different topics that I was interested in, that I wanted to learn about, that really affect my conversion. So, uh-oh, it's frozen. I don't know, is it frozen right now? Colin, the whole never bothered me anyway. Ariana, would you ever consider doing a video talking about why you chose Catholicism over atheism? So I've made videos talking about atheism in like 2016, 2017, talking about my intuitions on that. So I feel like that's definitely covered. When I was choosing Catholicism, like I was atheist at the time, or it wasn't like I was choosing between being atheist or being Catholic. I was Protestant. And I think I was thinking about becoming atheist, and then I was like, no. And then like 6 months later, I discovered Catholicism and the Orthodox Church. So it wasn't like I was walking down the path and chose one of them. So that was not what my journey was like. I'm sure for some people it is like that. Chaya, it's one of the first emojis that displays for me. Chris says, can a non-member pray the rosary? Yes, everyone is welcome to pray the rosary. There's an app that's really helpful. It's called the Laudate app. Here, I'll put it in the chat. It's a free app, and there's actually a virtual rosary in it. And so you're able to pray it through the app, and it has the prayers and stuff. And I'll actually link you another website. It's called Immaculate Rosary. So if you just Google, let's see actually what the website, Immaculate Rosary. So there's a website called the Holy Rosary. I just searched the day. Oh yeah, here, perfect. So I'll link this. And then it has little devotional prayers before each rosary. The prayers that you have to pray, whereas the Laudate app, they don't have Hail Mary, Our Father, and Glory Be, and Fatima prayers. Like when you're going through it, you have to know the prayers already. So if you're praying with the app, then you could click on the Immaculate prayers, and they have the Hail Mary, the Apostles' Creed, the Our Father all written out. So this is actually an amazing website to learn how to pray the rosary. I discovered it like a couple years into being Catholic, just because I was really struggling with the sorrowful mysteries and how to understand the depth. Are we back? I think I'm gonna go. It's been 2 hours on the stream so far. So it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. I think everyone keeps commenting the same emoji. Anyways, I love you guys a lot. 2 hours, it's been so fun hanging out with you. I'm really excited, Chris, for your journey. Encyclopedia and Laudate app, Immaculate. There's so many ways to learn about Catholicism. I'm really excited for you. Dean says, can I DM you on Twitter? Yes, I will try to reply in my mind right now. So send the tweet soon. Send the message soon, and hopefully I see it. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.